Good evening, everyone. Tonight I come to you with some very exciting news, and that is leaked images of the Focus ST. Well, we'll call it the ST line. So as you know, Geneva is this week. Geneva 2018 is this week. I think it starts on the 8th. Today is the 7th. That is tomorrow. So it is starting probably when I release this video today. And you would think, okay, so you mean Geneva, they're going to release the new ST line. No, they are not going to release it. They are going to have a separate press conference at an event in Europe in April. The reason they're doing this is so the focus can be the total focus of everyone's attention, as opposed to it being in an auto show where it has to fight for attention for all of these new releases. So now in April at this separate event in Europe, the next gen hatchback is going to just have the full spotlight. But at a photo shoot in Portugal, a guy by the name of Vezes, V-E-Z-E-S-S, has gotten a picture of a totally unwrapped 2019 Focus ST. Now, in the articles that I read, it said Focus ST. I think it is the ST line, which is only available in Europe. That is not offered in the United States yet. Basically, it's like a sports package. It doesn't do anything to the engine, but you have some nice appearance packages. So as you can see on the back, so here's the image. As you can see on the back part of the car, you have the spoiler that looks almost identical to the one that is currently out there, and I think it looks pretty good. So you have the spoiler, you have the sporty looking front end, but it doesn't. I really hope this isn't like the ST, because now here's what kind of makes me think it might be the ST. So let's go up to the front of the car, and you can see that there is the lights are definitely sporty. Looks like there's a daytime running light that goes right through, splits the light in half. The front of the car looks like it has maybe a diffuser on the bottom of it, and it also has some cuts almost similar to that of like what the BRZ front bumper looks like, maybe a little bit of RS and BRZ mixture in there. The wheels they're almost like Ford Taurus SHO wheels. I really hope those are not the wheels they release for the Focus ST, which is why I'm hoping this is the Focus ST line and not the actual ST. So moving on to the back of the car, you also have this rear diffuser sticking out over the blue of the car, sticking out there. But then there's also these red brake calipers. Now, I don't think red brake calipers would come on the ST line compared to the Sport, compared to actually being an ST. So I just really hope that that is not the ST. I hope they would have gone a little more extravagant for it, but they could also be saving all of that craziness for the upcoming RS. Now, let's talk about what they're doing with the ST. First of all, one of the most controversial things is they are going to be, instead of building this in Michigan, which actually I think the ST line and the RSs were all built in Germany, but for the most part, a lot of these STs are actually going to be built in China. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. I don't really care where it's built as long as they build a quality car, and really it's going to be done by the engineers at Ford Performance that take the car to the next level, and then they're just going to be setting up machines in a different country to take care of that. So that doesn't really bother me that much. But we have what is most exciting to me that is coming up here is this car is going to be lighter. 110 pounds lighter. It depends on the model variant, but that is just so important to me to know that Ford is concentrating on weight for their cars, because the current Focus ST it's heavier. Okay, I mean your benchmark should be looking at like the Civic Si and the Civic Type R. Okay, they're extremely efficient and they're great performance models, and they're extremely reliable. They're known to be reliable. So the fact that they are cutting weight 110 pounds, which is a big deal, means you don't have to add as much power to make them go extremely fast. It's going to be 50 millimeters longer, 110 pounds lighter, again, depending on the variant. And it's also going to be a more high-tech dashboard. So instead of having all those buttons, which you see in like the 2013 and 14 models in the ST, they did a nice job of 15 and up. But all those buttons you see are going to be eliminated. It's going to be a more high-tech, featureless tablet-centric layout, which is cool. In my head, I'm thinking like Tesla, which is the extreme end of that. I don't think it'll be quite that, but it will be, you know, right now it's an 8.8-inch screen, which is, or 8-inch, something like that. It's a massive screen. There's very few cars. I've driven cars way more expensive than mine that don't have as good as an interface as the Focus ST has, and it's Sync 3. So any Ford that has Sync 3, the screen, everything is just, it's great. It's excellent. So the fact that they're going to be expanding on that, making it even bigger, is very exciting to me. Let's talk about what you are all excited about, and that is, what is the power going to look like? Are we going to have a DCT transmission? I don't know about the DCT transmission. What I do know is there's some leaked information. Now, I made a video earlier, or in last year, talking about 275 horsepower for the upcoming Focus ST. There are now reports showing that the Focus ST is going to have more like 280 to 290 horsepower with a 2-liter EcoBoost engine. And it's apparently going to come with the Paris Auto Show debut in October. So this release that is coming up in April, I'm thinking is just going to be the ST line. They're going to show the sport version. They're going to show the new Focus body style, but they're going to just leave it up to your imagination and all the people that make renderings of cars. They're going to leave it up to them to create what they think the new one will look like. So it's extremely exciting. 280 to 290 horsepower. I mean, now you're in Golf R range. You're in Civic Type R range. Even the STI, but the STI is going to get a bump here soon, which would be a separate video. But 280 to 290 horsepower, are you kidding me? Now, if they do that, they absolutely need to have a limited slip differential, which would be amazing. The technology's already there. It's an easy thing to put in. You know this car is going to cost more than its predecessor. Just make it cost a little bit more and put the LSD. Let it have different spring rates, at different damping modes and different drive modes, all that stuff. Throw it all in the ST. You have to think, when the 2013 Focus ST came out and had 252 horsepower coming out of a hot hatch, that was insane. I mean, it made the cover of, let me prove to you. Look at this. Motor Trend, WRX. This is, when is this from? April 2014. Are you kidding me? The WRX versus the Focus ST with the, you know, it's the old one, doesn't have the refresh front. I mean, it was making the cover of magazines because of it. 252 horsepower, 270 foot-pounds of torque, Recaro seats, torque vectoring, like all the like, it was amazing. And they need to, Ford Performance is not a company that, you know, like when the new Civic Si came out, you were like, oh, everyone was like, oh, it's going to be a geared down Type R engine, 230 horsepower, 240 horsepower. And then Honda comes out and they're like, yeah, 205 horsepower and 197 foot-pounds. And we're all kind of let down, but that's just not Honda's style. Honda sticks to their guns. They know what works. They're efficient. They're sporty. They're fun. Ford Performance is just like, screw it. How much horsepower can we jam into this engine? We'll make it work. That's what Ford's all about. That's what Ford Performance is all about, and that's exactly what they're going to do with this Focus ST. 280 horsepower, 290 horsepower, that's probably not far from the truth. 275 is what I said earlier. You know, another 15 horsepower is not that out of the realm, but what they need to do is be smarter about how they're engineering the car in the sense of putting the power down the road. The power is great in the current car, but you need to work with suspension, and you also need to work with the limited slip differential on the car to make it, put it down and actually make it relevant. Otherwise, you're just spinning the tires, wheel hop, all that stuff that we hate in front-wheel drive cars. So the fact that they are going to actually really put some time, invest some time into this car is just going to be awesome to watch. So I am extremely excited to see what they actually come out with for this new Focus ST and the new body style. So what we're looking at here is the 2012 Focus ST-R. So this is even before the ST was released, but there's some cool features here. The BBS star-looking wheels, and the exhaust here is it's the dual tip, but they're like rectangles. It's really cool looking. Has a full roll cage inside that's white. I don't know. It's a really cool color scheme. That just came across here. Figured I would. Front tow hook, upgraded intercooler. It's really beautiful. But I don't know, it's very interesting. Now, and another thing that's interesting about the Focus ST is, this is the 2012 ended up being the 2013 body style, but it's not a bad looking car. It doesn't look dated. It just looks different. Some cars, for example, like a Mercedes, when you see a new Mercedes and you look back at the old one, you're like, oh shit, that's old. With this Ford, Honda's very good at this too. It just looks different. It's more of a rounded surface. The refresh of this body style is more jagged and aggressive. So they did a nice job with that as well. So that's the news. That's what's coming up. What are they going to do with the seats? I think they should offer Alcantara in the ST models. Should they offer a dual clutch? I don't think they should offer a dual clutch in the ST. I think they should save that for the RS. I think it would be cool. As much as I love manual transmissions, I think it would be cool to see what an RS could do with a dual clutch transmission, because it would be able to put up numbers that would compete. I mean, if I'm going to release a video on the new RS because there's some really good stuff coming up with that as well, but I guess we'll just save that. But I think they should leave the ST. The Focus ST is a manual transmission only car. That's really unique. That's really special. There's only a handful of cars they do that for. Fiesta ST, Focus ST, Focus RS, Honda Civic Si, Honda Civic Type R, the Subaru WRX STI. That's off the top of my head. I don't think I'm missing anything. Just let me know in the comments what I'm missing, but that's all I can think of that have manual only transmissions in that range of cars. I know there's other ones up there, but it's rare, and I think that's a unique part of the ST. Look, if you want to drive an ST, you're going to have to learn a manual transmission, and that's not that bad of a thing. Like I said earlier, I think it's actually safer to drive a manual. Keeps you focused on the road and driving, engaged, and that's what you should be doing when you're driving. So back on track here. New ST 2019. It's coming in about a month from now. It's going to have its own event in Europe, and then hopefully in October of this year at the Paris Auto Show. That's when they're going to be talking about releasing the official ST, hopefully with 290 horsepower, hopefully somewhere, hopefully around the same torque. Could be more efficient. It's going to be lighter. What are they going to do with suspension, active drive modes? What's it going to look like? There's so much that it's unanswered, but it's really good breaking news that we have. Some stuff is starting to leak out, which is good and bad. I mean, I like to be surprised, but at the same time, I like to know it's coming. So, very excited. So, thank you all for tuning in tonight. Leave your comments below as far as what you know on the Focus ST, the upcoming one, the Fiesta ST. Is it coming back to the United States after 2018? Anything you have on the Focus RS, comment below. And what are you guys going to do? Are you going to wait? Are you going to get an ST now? Are you going to get an RS? What are you going to do? As of right now, I have some great upgrades coming on the ST. Stay tuned. Thank you for being patient with me. I got a whole bunch of stuff coming up that you're really going to enjoy with the Focus ST. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel because you're just going to enjoy the content I have coming up. I have no doubt in that. If you like cars, if you like Ford and the Focus ST community, that's what I do. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you soon.